All right, you may now begin your presentation.
Is this our final meal? Can we eat like the others? When are we going back to school? When are things going to get better? These are burning questions child asks to parents. Possibly the child was me, you, or a kid you once saw in the past. Bonjour, namaste, assalamu alaikum. Good day. We are Team 2. My name is Michael Joaquin.
Okay.
And our other speaker is Alexandria.
Here I am. Okay. So we have the issue of poverty within multiple countries worldwide. And the issue is that we're working to reduce global poverty. The circumstances that lead people to live a life where they're fighting for their survival every single day. What's common in all countries is people lack basic resources and care. The inability, for whatever reason, to have full agency over one's life can rob them of their hope, motivation, and it blocks them from making a positive impact in their lives and the rest of humanity. The people who live below the poverty line are unable to get medical care, sufficient education, they lack food and sanitation. Due to discrimination in some countries' policies, they can be treated and they cannot be treated, and they're denied the opportunity to move above the poverty line, and they're subjugated to unkind treatment. Michael is here to present the solution.
For our solution, we're going to construct training centers that will provide free resources while instituting education so that communities can learn new trades and expand their businesses and become entrepreneurs. Through marketing and enhancement of current businesses, revenue can generate, which can partly invest in centers and partly invest in the relief, emergency aid, and most impact on population. The driving concern is that people currently in extreme poverty or without food, sanitation, and don't have safe living. The center will supply temporary aid to these people and assist them in learning how to provide for themselves. In order to impact multiple communities, the center will need to staff and fund by various sources, which include governmental assistance, volunteers, business owners, and grants. The difference with our solution with other current programs is that we will encourage volunteers and entrepreneurs to provide resources from their homes or businesses. Student volunteers might be able to apply their experience in the form of internship program with the center.
Michael, sorry to interrupt you, but the 3-minute presentation period has now ended. So we will move right into the Q&A period. So any judges want to start with the first question?
Well, can you talk a little bit more about the how you intend to make this more of a more sustainable project? What's the long-term growth opportunity and potential?
Okay. Michael, would you like me to?
Oh, yes, you can.
All right. So in order to achieve the sustainability, we're going to have a tier system starting off with short term. We start off with receiving grants, receiving donations from the local communities and government assistance. But that would only be for the first half year maximum. Then leading into the next year, which would be midterm, everybody that is currently participating in the centers, that includes volunteers, that includes the entrepreneurs whose businesses we would help advance, and that would include partnering NGOs and charities. They would be helping to funnel into the system. Long term, we would be more sustainable in not receiving assistance from the state, nor in any way relying on partnerships with NGOs. That would be welcomed, but we wanted to encourage volunteers and the people who are participating to donate their resources and their time and their expertise back into the centers that help them build up their businesses. As well as our centers are not just to build up entrepreneurs, but to provide emergency aid to those in poverty. We didn't want it to be like a trickle-down system. We wanted to impact the people most affected. And in order to do that, we need to make sure people who don't have the means to survive do, and those who need upward mobility have the tools to do so. And in turn, they would feed back into the centers by teaching more people and providing for them with the fruits of their labor.
I had a quick question. This is centered around the implementation of where are you guys plan on building these centers or in what cities or good?
I'm sorry.
No,
The cities that they would be placed in would be the areas in which people are suffering most from poverty. So we would obviously get permission from our local governments to build these centers in the areas in which people are suffering heavily. Cities like Flint in the United States, other cities that are in predominantly rural areas where they're not very close to a lot of suburban amenities and nearby hospitals and such. And in other countries where there's a large trade center and a large demographic of high populace, but not a lot of people are prospering, that's where we initially center these places.
Yeah, so to backtrack, in centers like in the Bahamas, where we have a high population of people that use straw making as a source of living for tourism, we're going to have our centers in places like that, where people are mostly doing things of their own, like their tradition, and use that and market that. So there will be places of like small communities where I'm from, where there are people who only make a living off of straw making and off traditional crafts.
And in my country, where there's a great massive opportunity, but there's a lot of competition, and unfortunately, the scales are tipped unfairly for a whole lot of people who are already in poverty because they have to deal with not only discrimination, but the lack of access and knowledge. Even though we live in the land of great opportunity, not everybody's afforded the same opportunities. And so this is a way to even the playing field. And for those who are in extreme poverty, the first thing we have to start them off with is the basis level and giving them hope and giving them what they need to make it from day to day. I learned from my team members that in different parts of the world, they have a different culture on how they help their fellow man. And so I realized that how people are going to go about this in their local community will be different, but the center itself will have the same aspects: medical care, food, education. And then we instill in everyone that participates, including the volunteers who can also become entrepreneurs and get work experience, that they must teach what they learn and spread it around. It's not enough for you to just be able to make a little bit of money. It means much more if you're able to create an enterprise and work with others. That way we can reduce and then hopefully eradicate poverty.
Alexandria, thank you for kind of expanding there. The Q&A period is now over. So Team 2, thank you so much for all of your hard work and collaboration over the past several weeks. It was really exciting to see what you came up with, and I really enjoyed your presentation. So please join us back at 11:30 Central for the announcement of winners and sort of our culminating celebration of this program. And again, thank you so much for your presentation. You are now free to leave the Zoom meeting.
Thank you.